Shalom, family. I want to thank you again for all of you who drop in and we go through the scriptures and study together. It's always a pleasure. Today, family, I'm going to do sort of like a two-part series or a two-part lesson. And it's concerning that the Most High is not pleased, with this awakening, how it's going. And the second part will be the Most High is not pleased, and I'm going to hit on the subject of tithing, okay? And how people can be deceived by these Christian churches, and I'm afraid some of it, or a lot of it, has creeped into the Israelite community. The very things that we left out of Christianity for has found its way into Israelite teaching, and they just dress it up with Hebrew words and stuff and disguise it. But there are a lot of camps or assemblies that is doing this. And so you're really no better off than you were when you were in Christian church if you're not paying attention to these people. There's a lot of man-made doctrine going around, a lot of deceit, a lot of sin even in the leadership, a lot of high-minded individuals, they're confessing the Most High only with their mouth, but He's far from their heart. You have a lot of them, these assemblies, if you want to call them, or camps, too, that have 501c3s. That is not of the Most High, because with that, there are only certain things that you can say. You have to stay within their guidelines in order to keep getting these benefits from the government, and our faith and belief should have nothing to do with the government whatsoever. So when you have an assembly and you have a 501c3, then it's not of the Most High. It's not, because you're very limited into what you can do or teach. And so you're not free. And the Most High's word is to set people free. And you put yourself and your assembly right back in bondage. Okay? And you can research it yourself, family. Just Google up the qualifications for a 501c3. You'll see what I'm talking about, because they have many rules, probably as much as 30 or 40, that these people can't say, can't do, can't oppose certain politicians. It's a whole bunch of things they can't do. Can't talk about the issues of the world, concerning homosexuality or, child porn. It's certain things they cannot say. They cannot say it. So just Google it for yourself and see if I'm not telling you the truth. There's a lot of things that they cannot say. They're in it for the tax benefits. And a lot of these assemblies, they're they're money-minded. They saw an opportunity when this awakening started as a money grab. They'll throw a few scriptures out there and stuff like that and dress it up as Israelite teaching, and people fall for it. So, first of all, we're just going to get into the scriptures about what's going on, and we'll let the scriptures bear witness to what you're seeing today. And then in part two, we're going to really get into some about tithing and giving. Okay? Now, I know it's going to anger a lot of people, probably some that I know, you know. But the Most High's word has to be taught in truth, without fear. Okay? So, I mean, if I anger somebody, then that's their problem. I'm not going to worry about it. I do not work for them. You know, I'm a servant of the Most High. I'm not a servant of the men and trying to please men. Okay? All right. So we'll get into these scriptures, and as we go, we'll discuss them. Now I'm going to start off with Titus, chapter 1, and I'm going to go verse 10 through 16. For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things that they ought not, for filthy lucre's sake. Money, filthy lucre. One of themselves, even a prophet of their own, said, the Cretians are always liars, evil beasts, and slow bellies. This witness is true. Wherefore rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith, not giving heed to Jewish fables and commandments of men that turn from the truth. Unto the pure, all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure, but even their mind and conscience is defiled. They profess that they know the Most High, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate. That's what we have today. You know, they profess to know Elohim, but if you look at their works, they deny him. And it tells us to rebuke them. See, family, I wish I didn't have to do these kind of videos. I wish I could just cruise along, you know, and obey the Most High and work out my own salvation. But I can't, because as a teacher, as in Ezekiel chapter 30, 33 says, that if you see the sword coming and warn not the people, you know, he's going to require their blood at the watchman's hands. Okay? So I don't need that. So I have to speak out against things, family. I just can't turn my head and act like it don't exist. You know, I wish I didn't have to do subjects like this. But it's becoming too apparent. It's becoming too widespread. People trying to teach our people different things out of books that we have no business reading. The Book of Mormon, for one. That book was published in 1830. The Torah and the scriptures predate them centuries. Okay? I mean, this guy named Christopher Columbus, in 1492, he had already did what he did, his travel, before the Book of Mormon came out. I mean, the Book of Mormon didn't come out until 3.5 centuries after Christopher Columbus. So how can that book be valid? And it's saying that the word was brought to this man, whatever his name is, by a fallen angel named Moroni. And to that I say baloney. Fallen angel ain't finna bring you nothing of the Most High. Bring you no truth. See, this kind of stuff I'm talking about, family, and it just can't be ignored. 2 Timothy, chapter 3, verse 3 through 9. Without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of YAH, having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. For of this sort are they which creep in the houses and lead captive silly women, laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Now as Jans and Jambres withstood Moses, so do these also resist the truth. Men of corrupt minds, reprobate concerning the faith. But they shall proceed no further, for their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as theirs also was. And when it's talking about this Jans and Jambres, it's using that as a reference as the two magicians or something that opposed Moses. You know, they duplicated a couple of things that Moses did, but then they couldn't go no further. See, it was a limit set by the Most High. You know, and just like verse 9 said, but they shall proceed no further. So when it going back up to verse 6, it said, for this sort are they which creep in the houses and lead captive silly women, laden with sins, led away with different lusts. Sisters, this is not browbeating women at all, because it is just as equally enough a lot of men being led, silly men led away. But they use that example because it's predominantly more men teachers, okay? If you go to a Christian church or even an Israelite assembly, you will see more women than men. See? Especially in the Christian church. And what it means by that, just look how many instances where the sisters end up having an affair with the pastor. You know, they're led away. That's what it means by that, you know, silly women. Not that women are silly. Okay? I just want to make that clear. But they doing silly stuff. You know, they impressed with these preachers and some of these Israelite teachers because of the way they dress, the way they talk, their demeanor, and so, you know, women tend to fall for pastors and leaders, okay? And we'll see it make that same reference in Job 2, verse 9 through 10. This is Job's wife. Then said his wife unto him, dost thou still retain thy integrity? Curse the Most High and die. See, his wife looking at him going through all these things, sickness, and lost everything. And she asked him, you mean you still holding your integrity toward the Most High? Curse the Most High and die. And verse 10 says, but Job said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speak. He didn't call his wife a fool. He said, you speaking as a foolish woman. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of YAH and not we receive evil? In all this, that Job did not sin with his lips. See? In other words, he's saying, we've been all right. Most High been taken care of. So if we can accept that, can we accept when things, go a little bad? So, it makes reference, he said, you're acting as one of the silly women. Okay? 1 Peter, chapter 5. Let's see. I think I'm going to start with verse 1. The elders which are among you I exhort, who am also an elder, and a witness of the sufferings of YAH, and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed. Feed the flock of YAH which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, money, but of a ready mind, neither as being lords over the Most High's heritage, but being examples to the flock. See, you can get in some of these camps, some of these assemblies, and they're lords over you. They come up with all kind of rules, man-made rules and stuff, man-made doctrines. You've heard it. We have some of them that teach on Shabbat you can't turn your light switch on. They turn your lights on in the house, or you can't make your bed up. Foolishness. You can't leave the house. Well, how did our ancestors in the day when YAH was, how did they get to the temple? They had to leave their house to get there, didn't they? So how are you going to get to where you congregate with your sisters and brothers to study and be in the Word? You have to leave to get there, right? See, they make up stuff. And that's man-made doctrine. They're nothing but modern-day Pharisees. YAH even set an example for them. When they seen him and the disciples picking corn to eat, and they tried to check him, tell him, your disciples are working on the Shabbat. They picking corn. Yeah, they was hungry. That's what YAH told them. Yeah, they picked it. They were hungry. And then YAH said concerning work, he said, okay, if one of y'all got a sheep that fall into a ditch, you going to leave him there, or you going to find some people and help get him out? Of course you're going to get him out. You're not going to wait till Shabbat ends to get that sheep out of there. More than likely, sheep are herd animals, and that sheep will probably cry himself to death down in that ditch. So you're going to get some people to go get him out. It's not work you're getting paid for, but sometimes things happen. You can be on your way to Shabbat and have a flat tire. What, you can't get out and change the tire to continue on? See, this is silliness. They putting you back in bondage. I'm telling you, family, it's a lot worse than what you may even think. It really is. Trying to see which okay, let's go to Matthew 24:24. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and he shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect. See? These guys in some of these assemblies are good. They're good at twisting scripture. You know? They're scripture technicians. They make those scriptures say what they want them to say. And like the Most High say, going to be false prophets. He said, and if it was possible, it'd deceive even the elect. If you're not careful. If you're not paying attention and watching these people, let's see. No, I don't think I want to go there. Okay, let's go to 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 3 and 4. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers, having itchy ears. And they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. We have that going on now. See, people really don't want to hear the truth, because if they hear the truth, that means they got to change. Even among those of us who say we are awakened or call ourselves the Most High's people, there are many that have issues that they don't want to change, so they find teachers that'll say just what they want to hear, so that they can justify their wickedness and not change. See? Having itchy ears. That's what that means, Isaiah chapter 30, verse 10 through 13, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy us deceit. See, it's people don't want to hear the truth. They say prophesy us not right things, not the things that's right. Speak unto us smooth things. Telling them to go ahead and prophesy deceit. In other words, lie. Because they don't want to hear the truth. Verse 11, get you out the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. See, they don't want him speaking truth. They want the Most High to cease being before them. Verse 12 says, wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because you despise this word, and trust in oppression and perversiveness, and stay thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking comes suddenly at an instant. See, you want to believe that kind of stuff? You want to hear smooth things? You want to hear sugar-coated teachings? Then go right ahead. You say, you're going to fall. It'll come up on you suddenly. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 8 through 12. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Most High shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause, YAH shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. See, that's what you got coming. See, you don't want to believe the truth. You want to keep believing these false teachers, these lies, these books they keep coming up with and all that. Well, the Most High is going to let you. He's going to send you a strong delusion so that you will believe it. That's why so many of them on these channels in the chat section, they all in agreement with these false teachers. So they already believe in a lie. They in strong delusion. See? And call themselves Israelites and the awakened. But they fall for every doctrine that comes along. They blown to and fro. So 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 6 and 7. But this I say, he which soweth sparingly shall reap also sparingly, and he who soweth bountifully shall reap bountifully. Every man according as he purpose in his heart, so let him give, not grudgingly or necessity, for YAH loves a cheerful giver. See, now this is part of what goes along with this lie they gave y'all about the tithing. No, if you're in an assembly and you feel like you are being properly fed the truth, then of course you support that assembly so that the truth will keep being spread. But it is not a tithe, and we'll find that out later. It's called alms, ALMS. It's a free will offering, and you give whatever you have to give, what you can afford to give. You're not coerced and beat over the head and threatened. Okay, it's a difference between alms and tithe. Let's go to Luke chapter 10, and let's see, Luke chapter 10, verse 4 through 9. This is the instructions from the Most High, YAH. Carry neither purse, nor scrip, nor shoes, and salute no man by the way. And into whatsoever house you enter, first say, peace be to this house. And if the Son of Peace be there, your peace shall rest upon it. If not, it shall turn to you again. Verse 7, and in the same house remain, eating and drinking such things as they give, for the laborer is worthy of his hire. Do not go from house to house. Verse 8, and in whatsoever city ye enter, and they receive you, eat such things as are set before you. Verse 9, and heal the sick that are therein, and say unto them, the kingdom of YAH is come nigh unto you. Now you notice up in verse 7, it told them whatever house you go to, the ones who providing you hospitality, they've given you a place to rest, and they're giving you a meal. He said, you remain in that house. Don't be going from house to house begging. See, the Most High always provides for his people that are teaching his word. This is why you don't need to con nobody out of nothing. If you truly one of his teachers, he'll provide. You don't need 15 links on your channel or in your assembly for people to give. Because if you're truly teaching, some people going to do it anyway. They're going to give freely. Okay? It's just that simple. If they have to be made to give you something, then apparently they don't want to because they don't feel like you're worth them supporting. Now, let's just be clear on that, family. I mean, I know sometimes it's hard to face these facts, but that's what it is. Matthew chapter 21. And let me back up here a little bit. Let's go back up to Luke chapter 10 and verse 4, where it says, don't carry either a purse, nor a scrip, nor shoes, and salute no man by the way. Now, when it says scrip, I know it comes to people's mind, they're talking about scripture, verses. Now, that's not what a scrip is, family. If you look it up in the concordance, it's G4082. A scrip is a leather sack in which travelers and shepherds carry their provisions. Has nothing to do with the scriptures. They couldn't have been carrying the scriptures around because they hadn't been written yet. Mashiach was still alive. The Gospels were written to give an account of what he did while he was here. There's no way they could write this while he's still here, going from place to place, doing all this. It had to be after his death, that the gospel, sometime after his death, that these gospels were written. So they wasn't carrying no scripture, but they was carrying the teaching of Mashiach in their heart. Okay? But that's what a script is. I thought I'd better straighten that up. Okay. Matthew 21, verse 10 through 13. And when he was coming to Jerusalem, all the city was moved, saying, Who is this? And the multitude said, This is Mashiach, the prophet of Nazareth of Galilee. And Mashiach went into the temple of YAH and cast out all them that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers and the seats of them that sold doves, and said unto them, It is written, My house shall be called a house of prayer, but you have made it a den of thieves. See, he didn't appreciate that. See, and a lot of times our people are being merchandised. You support some of these people all year long, and to make you think they appreciate it, they'll give you something that you could have got on your own, free. Well, to all my supporters, I'm going to give y'all a calendar of the feast days. You can do that online yourself and get one free. They're not giving you nothing. They take in thousands upon thousands of dollars a month, and all they got to give away is a calendar or something that don't really cost much, something you can get on your own free anyway. See, you're being merchandised. I know a lot of people ain't gonna like that. But if you feel they are worthy, then you can support them all you want to. As long as you don't feel coerced to do it. I'll tell you this, family, and this is just me. You can watch my channel 7 days a week and you'll not see one link for a donation. I do not need a donation to teach the Most High's word. It costs me nothing but whatever time it takes to record the video. That's it. I don't have to use no $300 microphone. I don't have to have a $4,000 computer. Mine works just fine. So I'm out of nothing. So what do I need y'all money for? I didn't pay for the word. It was freely. I received it freely. Okay? But now I got to have money to share the word. Won't happen. Not on my channel, okay? What everybody else do, that's their business. That's fine. I don't care. I'm just not going to be in the business of selling nothing that belongs to the Most High. That's it. That's final. The day I need to do that is the same day I'll shut the channel down, okay? Second Peter, chapter 2, verse 1 through 6. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privately shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Most High that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. See? We got these teachers that's bringing in these heresies. The Book of Mormon is our book. No, it's not. Everything in it is hatred toward the Most High's people. Okay? Verse 2, and many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. And through covetousness they shall be feigned words, and make merchandise of you, whose judgment now of a long time lingers not, and their damnation slumbers not. See, their day is coming. For if the Most High spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly. See, these folks think that nothing's going to happen because they've been doing this a long time and been getting away with it. No judgment of any consequences fell on them, you know. What do verse 6? And turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemn them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that should live ungodly. See, Most High gonna make an example out of him. Judgment starts in the pulpit, family, if you want to say pulpit, with the teachers. The Most High is going to deal with them more harshly than anybody else, because you're perverting his word. You're leading his people astray. You're causing his people to fall short. All right? Let's go to Acts chapter 5, verse 1 through 6. And again, we're going to deal with a money issue here. But a certain man named Ananias with Sapphira, his wife, sold a possession and kept back part of the price. His wife also being privy to it, and brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet. But Peter said, Ananias, why has Satan filled thine heart to lie to the Ruach, or HaKodesh, and to keep back part of the price of the land? Verse 4, while it remained, was it not yours? And after it was sold, was it not in thine own power? Why hast thou conceived this in your heart? Thou hast not lied unto men, but unto YAH. And Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the ghost. And great fear came on all them that heard these things. And the young men arose, wound him up, and carried him out and buried him. See, it wasn't the amount of money he got, but he lied about it. Say if you sold your land for 500 and you come to them, oh, well, I didn't get but 100. See, he could have gave what he wanted to give, but he lied about the price. That's what got him in trouble. See, he lied to the Ruach HaKodesh about the price he got. He could have gave any part of it he wanted to, but he didn't have to lie about what he got for it. Okay, I sold my land for 500, here's 300 of that. Could have did that, but he lied. See? That's why he was dealt with. And his wife come right behind him and done the same thing and got dealt with the same way. They drug her out of there too. So, just be careful, family, with your money. You don't have to lie about it. You don't have to do nothing. Whatever you purpose in your heart to give it from your heart. Because the Most High don't want you giving nothing grudgingly or under any kind of duress or coercion. Because if that's the case, you may as well keep it in your pocket. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I need to read this. Acts chapter 4, verse 31 through 35. See, this is another deception some of them try to use. Verse 31, and when they had prayed, the place was shaken where they were assembled together. And they were all filled with the Ruach HaKodesh, and they spake the word of YAH with boldness. And the multitude of them that believed were of one heart and of one soul. Neither said any of them aught of the things which he possessed was his own, but they had all things common. And with great power gave the apostles witness of the resurrection of Mashiach, and great grace was upon them all. Neither was there any of them that lacked. Now these people, they were well off. For as many as were possessors of lands or houses sold them, and brought the prices of the things that were sold. Verse 35, and laid them down at the apostles' feet, and distribution was made unto every man according as he had need. Now we'll have some people try to use that. See, y'all supposed to bring money and stuff and put it at our feet. That's not what that means. See, that's kind of metaphorically people are speaking. Sure, they sold their possession and they brought the proceeds to the apostles. The laying at their feet is more like a metaphor. But what did they sell their possessions and bring the proceeds to the apostles for? Let's read it again why they did it. And laid them down at the apostles' feet, and distribution was made unto every man according as he had need. It was to feed the people who was less unfortunate, who were poor, widows, the fatherless. They didn't bring that money to them for their personal use. They brought it to feed the people. See, you have to watch how these people try to twist these scriptures. Just because it's written like that, they'll take advantage of it. See, they brought money to the apostles' feet. Yeah, to distribute. They weren't paying them. It was to distribute to needy people, which we are supposed to do. If you're well off and you have things, and you got neighbors that's starving to death, well, take some of your resources and go feed that family. Okay? Matthew chapter 23 and 23. And this is kind of running off into the tithing part, but I got to say it. Because, oh, well, they were still tithing in the New Testament. Yes, they were. Absolutely. You bet they were. But it wasn't about no money. Okay? And we're going to find that out in the next segment, in part 2. It wasn't about money. So we'll read the verse where they did tithe and see what it was that they tithe. Matthew 23:23. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These you ought to have done, and not to leave the other undone. So yeah, see, they tithe, but what was it? It was herbs. It was not money. People had money in those days. And they had what? Shekels and denarius and pence. How did Judas get paid? 30 pieces of silver. So they had monetary means. But what did they tithe? Mint, anise, and cumin. And YAH was getting on them because y'all might be tithing, but you still leaving the weightier matters of the law out. See, you can tithe all you want to, family. You're not obeying the law, statute, and commandment. You may as well keep it in your pocket because you're not going to buy your way into heaven. Okay? Let's be clear on that. You cannot. YAH has told you the only way to get in, and that's through him, through obedience and faith. He said, if you love me, keep my commandments. Straight from the YAH's mouth. Okay? So, okay, family, I'm going to close this one down. And go ahead and click on part 2 because it's probably going to get real hairy on that one, okay? So see you in a little bit. Shalom.